Hi everybody, my name is Janice Sterling Gant. I am a licensed professional counselor and I am the author of The Shame Game, Leaving Shame to Live in Abundance, and I am in the midst of hopefully getting my second book published before too long, which is called Prince Charming is Dead or in Rehab. And in that book I talk about the essential skills of dating in the real world. So over the past 2 weeks, I have been posting a TikTok video that goes over a lot of the things that are written about in the book at the beginning of the book. And so, but because there are a lot of people who may be in their 40s, 50s, 60s, who may be dating for the first time around or the second time around or the third time around. And so I decided that a YouTube video might be more in line with what they would be looking at. So that's why I'm doing this today. So what I'm gonna do over the next several weeks is once a week, I'm gonna post a video that's gonna help you with your dating skills. And that's one of the first points I wanna make, is that dating or finding the right person is not like fairy dust that falls down from heaven and just lands on your head. It really is the implementation of a set of skills, and most of us are not taught that. It's not like going to Vegas and rolling the dice, and if you hit a 7 or 11, you're a winner, and if not, you're toast. That's not the way this is. If you have been ineffective in finding the guy that's gonna be your Mr. Wonderful, then these are some skills that will really help you. I did have a call the other day from a guy that I knew, and he said, hey, I've been watching your TikTok, and are these principles applicable to guys also? And the answer is yes. That guys need to know how to date also. This is primarily for women just because I think women are a little more into reading self-help books and stuff, but yes, a guy can take these principles as well. Okay, so we're gonna enter our dating boot camp, and the first thing that we're gonna do is you've got to grieve the loss of your last relationship. And the way you grieve your loss of the loss of the last relationship is you have to walk through the grief process. And so I want to educate you about that a little bit, so you'll be able to look at what you're feeling or what you're doing or what you're thinking and be like, okay, well, I remember Janice telling me that that's something that I might experience, so that you won't feel like there's something wrong with you or that you're weird. The problem is you're human, and we as humans, when we grieve, we have to go through these stages. All right, so the first stage is denial. And that is where you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. Let's say you were rolling along and you had found this guy and you thought y'all were in a really good place, and all of a sudden he texts you or calls you and says, you know what, this isn't working for me, so I'm gonna move on down the road. And that is a real shock. And so a lot of times people will be like, I can't believe it. How did this happen? And they're questioning everything that they did. And so that particular stage is one of the ones that's where so much of the pain is in your belly, because you just can't understand it. So that's a really important stage. So know that if you're questioning, what did I do? What could I have done differently? Then you are in that denial stage. The second stage is anger. So anger is a human emotion. A lot of us, especially if you were born and raised in the South, that we as women were taught, oh, nice girls don't get angry, but humans get angry. So anger is a human emotion there's nothing wrong with anger. It's what you do with your anger that could be good or it could be bad. In other words, if you're feeling angry and you decide to key your old boyfriend's car, that behavior is not okay. So the difference between anger, feeling the feelings, and rage is that rage is the behavior. It's not okay to call people names. It's not okay to scream bloody murder at people. But if you are feeling this surge of energy in your body, that's anger. And the good thing about anger is it pushes you through the grief process a little more quickly. So you want to figure out some things that you can do to help you express that anger. I love the formula W squared, T squared. Write about it, weep about it, think about it, and talk about it. So if you can do some of those 4 activities, that'll help you. Another thing you can do is go for a run, go for a walk, get 1 or 2 dozen eggs and go out in your alley and throw them at your trash can. or get a tennis racket and take it upstairs in your bedroom and beat the heck out of your bed. But what you're going to do is release that energy. So the anger will pass, but whatever you resist is going to tend to persist. So please give yourself permission to feel really angry, and find a buddy or your mom or a therapist that you can talk with about your anger, and they will be able to listen to you and say, yeah, I understand that that's part of the grief process. All right, the third stage is bargaining. And that's kind of a confusing place, because that's when you might be saying, oh man, well, maybe if I accidentally try to run into him at the grocery store and he can see how kind I am and how nice I'm being, and then maybe he will think, okay, well, maybe I should give it another chance. But I'm telling you, girls, if some yahoo dumps you, or if you find out something about somebody and you think that is not going to work for me, you do not need to double dip in that again. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. I mean, if you break up with somebody or they break up with you and they end up going to therapy for 6 months, something like that, then okay, maybe you might go out and with a few times with him. But I want you to be careful about the bargaining. It's not because you weren't pretty enough, smart enough, skinny enough, sexy enough. That's not it. If somebody chooses not to be with you, that is about them and it is not about you. So watch out for that bargaining. Then the next phase is depression, and that's sadness. And sadness is the stage that we really hate, because that's when we release the pain. I remember one time when I was so upset about going through my divorce, I literally lay in my closet on the floor and cried that gut-wrenching, cry. And you know, I call it the ugly cry, when like snot is coming out your nose and stuff. But that is a really big release, and you need to do it. So don't shame yourself for crying. I love the saying, what you feel, you can heal. So if you will release that sadness, it will go away. All right, the fifth stage is acceptance. And in that stage, what we're talking about is feeling like, okay, well, it is what it is. And I can be okay, even if I've still got some of these other feelings going on, but I can be okay and I can go on with my life. So it doesn't mean that you like it always. And it doesn't mean that all that pain is gone. It just means, okay, it is what it is. And the thing about acceptance is that's the stage where you start to move beyond the other feelings that you've experienced. One thing I want to be really sure to remind you of is that when you go through these stages, you're not going to go neatly through them. You're going to go to one and then another, and then you'll dance around another and then go back to another. And I don't want you to think that you're falling back if you start feeling anger again, let's say. But you're just going to have to dance around those stages until you release all of that. One thing I want to remind you of again is that you must not contact your old squeeze. We're going to talk more about that in the next YouTube video, but whatever you're going to do, if you reconnect with that old relationship, you're going to have to relive a whole lot of that pain, and I don't want you to do it. It's hard enough to feel that stuff the first time. There is no reason to dance back in it for the second. So, all right, there's your very first lesson. We are going to go in the next, what we're going to do in boot camp, relationship boot camp, is we're going to get rid of some of your stuff, and we're going to clean out your closet, and we're going to move you along that cafeteria line of men until you find someone that you really, really love and someone that appreciates you, because that's what you deserve. And I am your dating guru, and I'm going to take you along this path. I'm going to hold your hand. Lord knows I've done it plenty of times. All right, sign up for this. Give me your contact info if you want. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you again next week. Okay, have a great day and a great upcoming weekend. Bye.